Howdy everybody, ArgonMatrix here, welcome you to episode 15 of Celeste, and I want you all to know that I was like, when I started talking and doing this recording, which is a little bit ago because I do like a little thing at the start to sync the commentary in the video, when I started doing that, my cat, she just straight up booked it from my bedroom. She was like resting on my bed or something. I hear her launch off the bed, land on the floor, and start scrabbling around because it's like on wooden floors. And she runs right out to me here at my computer and just, like, for no reason at all other than that I started talking, I guess, and she just stares at me. And it was the most unnerving shit, but it was kind of adorable as well. She's now just, like, over there looking out the window at the world. Gotta wonder what those cats look at. Anyway, that little anecdote aside, we are here at the summit, having conquered all these previous B-sides up till this point. And it is time for what is probably the longest B-side, which makes sense because the summit is the longest A-side as well. I did do a practice run of this as well as the core B-side, which I'm going to try and knock out both in one little recording tonight. Not in one video, obviously. That'd be just catastrophic for my OCD, doing 2 levels in one video all of a sudden. But I've been blabbering on enough here. Let's get into the actual meat of this. Chapter 7, B-side. Let's rock. No more running. We're going to be doing a lot of running. Well, I guess dashing doesn't really count as running now, does it? I understand the context, by the way. Don't take me out of turn now. Alright. So, this is difficult. This B-side is difficult, as I'm sure you would imagine, given that it's like one of the final levels. It is the final, like, story level. So, they gotta make it count, obviously. I still don't think that it's as hard as the, as Chapter 6's B-side. There are certain parts of it that are probably like harder in isolation, but on the whole, I think it is still an easier process. Now that said, it's probably going to take much longer just because there's so much of it to get through. Again, just like the Summit A side, this is divided into like 500 meters, 1,000 meters, and every section is themed after chapter that it's sort of that it correlates to more or less. Oh god, didn't quite make the height on that one. That's why I didn't go for that. Let's do one of those. Nope, not quite. Yeah, so we're gonna get like little mini B-sides of the other chapters. Oh, I messed that one up because I'm gonna need to dash twice there. Yep, that's what I thought. Little mini B-sides of the previous chapters that we've already done the B-sides for. There we go. But with the added wrinkle of there being this double dash now, which obviously makes things much more complicated. They can make for some pretty ridiculous puzzles now. Oh, don't do that. Okay, I gotta focus on this one, because you gotta dash like pretty soon after you hit this. Not like that, like that more or less. Try not to rub your forehead on the spikes as you cross through, obviously. Ideally. Oh, come on now. That was just tomfoolery. Whoa, there we go. That's more like it. And then, yeah, this one's a little bit tricky because you can see like a spring way down there that you gotta cling to. Do like one of these, one of those, and then you bounce up and over. And for some reason, I just didn't see those spikes straight in the middle of the screen, so that's just my bad. Yeah, so while this may not be the hardest B-side for me personally anyway, I do think that it is a worthy challenge and a worthy gauntlet of torment for the final, or for the summit, for what the summit represents and all that. Oh, geez. Oh, come on. Oh, shoot. I don't know if I would have made that even if I had dashed in the right direction. I felt like I was just, like, hair short of where I needed to be. That's okay. Good lord, dude. I do think that, like, this section, I think the beginning of a lot of B sections can be somewhat hard. Or at least like the first few screens of a B-side. What did I say? A B section? Then what is a C section? Never mind. Yeah, the first few screens can be inordinately hard sometimes. Or maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm just trying to make up for bad play here. I did have a practice run. I swear that to you. All right, come on. And we're through. Yeah, buddy. Okay. That was a tough one, and we got these the little purple dragon's eye again to progress to each successive area. We don't have to worry about looking for secrets on these screens at least, because no secrets to be found in the B-side. Yeah, I did do a practice run of this level, but it was several days ago. I've had a busy few days, hence why there haven't been videos for the past couple. Which I do apologize for, but you know, man's gotta eat, gotta work, gotta eat, gotta live as much as we can. Oh, climb the wall, just made it. Oh, buddy. And there we go. I was actually very worried I was gonna hit that spike at the end there. I felt like I was a little bit too far to the left, but maybe I was just a few pixels off, or a pixel or two. So now we get into the Forsaken City with the double dash in tow. Oh geez, I gotta make that up there with, I think, a dash intact in order to actually hit that dash crystal. So something like that, more or less. And then you do one of those. Oh, I think I've messed that up because I'm gonna need a dash to get up that way. Okay, this isn't too bad. I remember this now. I mean, I should be remembering all this. I did a practice run for this exact reason, right? But, oh god. Yeah, that one's a tricky one, because you gotta jump with, like, some momentum from that block in order to get a good trajectory on it. But you can't use all the momentum. I don't know, maybe you don't need any momentum. Maybe you should just do like that, yeah. Probably just make it a little bit easier on myself. Let me go up, and wait for it, and up. Okay, we're good. Just running out of stamina at the end there. But that's okay as long as you make it. Well, this looks fun, doesn't it? Yeah, thankfully most of these like little pseudo B-sides are not very long. On the whole, it's going to make quite an epic gauntlet, as I'm sure you can ascertain already. But so we're going to go through every chapter except Reflection, which is exact same as this. Dude, my cat. She's going nuts. I don't know what she needs. Like sometimes cats will do this. If you, she's just tearing ass across across the entire apartment here. So if you don't own a cat, then you won't really know this. But like if you do own a cat, you know this pain. Or they like go to the bathroom or whatever. They go to like the litter box, and then it's like, or like just before they go to the litter box, sometimes they'll just start going freaking crazy. I don't really know why. I'm sure there is like a reason. Like if I went and looked it up. Oh, that was close. Ooh, buddy. Am I gonna be able to do this? Oh yeah, I can do one of those. I was gonna say I felt like I needed a dash or something, but I guess I didn't. Yeah, I don't know why cats do that. It seems like just about every time that they gotta do their business, they're in the bathroom. It was a very half-hearted in the bathroom. I don't have the guttural kind of voice needed to do a more accurate representation, I suppose. Oh, dude, we dashing the wrong way. I got these diagonal dashes on the brain. For some reason, diagonal dashes just feel safer to me most of the time. Because I like don't want to commit, I guess, to like to a single direction, because like you'll get a little bit more momentum and distance in that direction, sure. But what if you need the extra little bit of height in order to compensate for something, you know? Especially in like a B-side like this. There are many instances where a diagonal dash just will not cut it, and you gotta commit to one direction or another. But I'm just so bad at committal. Ooh, there we go. All right, and I think this is actually one of the rare like mid-screen checkpoints when you get these binoculars here. So like if I die for the rest of this screen here, then I should respawn there instead of like back at the actual start of the screen. It's kind of weird, but you know, I'm down for it. Anything to make my life just a little bit easier. It doesn't look like it's gonna matter too much regardless, because we just made it through. Easy enough. We're already up to, oh good lord. Already up to first little exit point here. I do remember having a bit of an issue with this one. I don't, oh yeah, because this thing gets a little crazy. Wait, no. Ah, shoot. It's not as bad as it looks. I mean, because like obviously you don't have to space like the little gaps there, even though they're like only one tile wide. The ones that you got to wall jump off of at the end. They may be like very thin, but they're also like perfectly spaced for you to wall jump off like this. And then you got to grab that one, Do like that, and we're up and away. Not bad. You just gotta make sure you time it right at the end and you're really clinging when you don't. Alright, time for the old site. The old site-based section, I suppose I should say. Oh, jeez. That was a little silly. So you will have to utilize that strategy where you do jump out of the block like that, like I've been doing for that first one anyway. I think you want to dash sideways there in order to get the momentum that you need. Oh, good lord. That's not what you want to do, certainly. Sometimes my brain just confuses the dash and jump buttons and shit like that happens. Okay, and we're over. Jeez Louise, dude. Okay, come on. We're good. So many of these screens, so many parts of this B-side just seem like you just barely get through, which I guess makes sense because it should be that way. This screen in particular, I remember giving me a lot of trouble both in my practice run and in my initial run, because you gotta like have pretty quick reaction times in order to do these weird dashes, and you gotta dash like up but not too soon on that one. Like at the very end when you dash out of that block, and you gotta make sure not to jump at the wrong time either. Dash down and over and up and over and see. Okay, we managed to salvage that one, but not quite. You just gotta be. Thankfully, these do renew your dashes, which I know is a weird thing to point out. It's like obviously they renew your dashes. They've been doing that the whole. Oh, dude, that one hurts. Doing that the whole freaking game. But keep in mind, the most recent section that I've practiced is the core, where dashes do not get renewed, which makes for certainly a very interesting B-side. Cross that bridge when we come to it, I suppose, though. Man, I want to go back to the innocent days where I could say the word come and not think of, like, of, like, come, you know? We're all adults here. Because there was a time, believe it or not, back in all of our innocent youths. I mean, hopefully all of our innocent youths anyway. I mean, I'm sure there's people that never mind. But, where that word just literally meant, like, hey, come here, you know? It was like the most innocent shit in the world. It didn't mean a damn thing otherwise. Now my perverted-ass brain just misinterprets all these different things. Like, I swear there's something about the adolescent to young adult brain, at least in this day and age, that just wants to interpret everything as, like, a sexual or otherwise innuendo. What is sexual or otherwise? I don't know, man. Is the word sexual kosher anymore? I'm getting a little too political now, aren't I? Ooh! Ah, dude! That's what I get for getting so political. Honestly, I'm like one of the last people that would ever really get political, mostly because I don't care about politics. I should. I really should care more about politics. And I will admittedly admit, that's not a proper phrase, but regardless, I'll press on. I will admit that I know more probably about American politics than I do about Canadian politics, because American politics are so much more fun to watch. Because Canada's kind of got its shit together for the most part. Not entirely. Oh, come on, dude. You've done that twice in a row now. Not twice in a row, I suppose. That's what you define as in a row. Like we got ducks in a row. Oh. Like, Canada's like... No offense to American viewers, of which I'm sure many of you are, because obviously they're like the biggest superpower nation in the world, biggest demographic for YouTube by a large margin, I'm sure. But things are not, regardless of whether you like the current state of your political climate, which I'm sure some of you do and some of you don't, and I'm not one to say because I don't live there. I can only go off of what I've seen on like Twitter and all that shit. Hold on. Oh shoot. I need to jump and dash there in order to actually clear those last little spikes, I think. But see, if I jump and then I try to like switch to the dash button, I'm already too late. I'm already in that spike wall on the far side most of the time. Just like that. Yeah, whether or not you agree with the current political state or are okay with it, I think just about anyone could agree it could be better. there are certain problems that are prevalent. Now, how problematic... Oh, there we go. How problematic you think those problems are, it's up to you. But in comparison, I think Canada, we do have our fair share of problems. I'm not going to deny that, certainly. Just that I think every country has their fair share of problems. But ours are pretty mundane compared to what America's got to deal with. And I'm not going to offer any examples because I'm probably already getting into more hot water, talking more about politics than I really have any right to be. Because as I said, haven't really cared much about politics in my adult life so far. And as such, am not overly knowledgeable. This one's a little crazy, but we got it. Oh, and we're already through the old site. I feel like that was a little more like 4 or 3 screens long or something, which is maybe average, honestly. I don't remember exactly what the old site is, or what the old site's, what the Forsaken City, I mean, how long that screen, or that B-side was. Pseudo B-side. Oh, there's a wall there I could cling onto. I was like, how am I going to get enough height for that? But no way. Now I think about it, I think the Forsaken City might have only been like 4 screens or something. Which is okay. Oh, come on, buddy. Oh, we got it. Okay. And just get enough height there. We're good to go. See, like I said, these individual little segments are not overtly long. It's just the combination of all of them that makes this ridiculous gauntlet. So now we've got the Celestial Resort and these things which just drive me mental. For no apparent reason. There's nothing that makes them particularly heinous, other than the fact that I associate them with bad memories. These little dust bunnies is what I'm talking about, in case that's not immediately clear. I'm pretty sure we won't have to deal with Oshiro in this, like Oshiro's ghost. I guess that's redundant, isn't it? We don't have to deal with him chasing us anyway, is what I mean. In this section. Which is fine. Is this another like mid-screen checkpoint? I feel like it might be, which is kind of strange because this is not that long of a screen, but I can see how it could be somewhat problematic. Yeah, like timing this shit is kind of annoying. I think what you want to do, because I always like get caught up in whether like the appropriate strategy for something spaced out like this is diagonal dashes or doing something like that, which I think I just demonstrated the probably the best strategy for me anyway. Maybe might not work out for everyone, but it seems to get the job done for me in most situations. You just gotta be a little bit more patient, I suppose. Like, sometimes I just feel like the timing on that doesn't work out, but maybe I'm just, you know... Oh, good God. I wasn't ready to get thrust into that elevator button maze just yet. I was wanting to time my launch through those guys first. That's where I was getting stuck on. Okay, we're good, we're good. We're good for now. Just get that. Get launched. Oh boy. I just got a text message which distracted me. Oh, perfectly wrong time for that to happen. That's not cool. I feel like he doesn't get close enough to the wall. Like, if I was clinging to that wall, I feel like I'd be okay, but that's not even a chance here, I guess. Do one of those, and okay, just avoid him. We had like a similar situation to this, I think, in the actual Celestial Resorts B-side. Dude, I was trying to land that so hard. Like, I remember like being frustrated by one of these guys, like hanging out right on this moving trampoline's path. But this is actually a little bit easier to deal with because we have a sort of second recovery dash if we need it, which I so often do, or at least so often utilize it. Oop, crap. That's okay though. We get this without too much more trouble, I hope. Famous last words though, right? I was trying to... This one's just nerve-wracking so much. Alright, get up there. I might just want to, like, do one of those, and then try and... Okay, maybe not. Maybe that's not the way to go, but I think I was doing the right thing before, where I try and renew my dash on the trampoline. before I go over for that last one. Okay, we're good. Well, that was just sheer impatience incarnate. Or not really incarnate, I suppose. I use the word incarnate like wrong all the time, and I feel like a lot of people do and just don't realize it. But I at least realize it, and I still do it, which is not a good excuse, obviously. I just do it because I'm lazy, more or less. But the word incarnate actually means like in flesh, like because like carne is like meat in Latin and many other languages actually. But so like if you're saying something incarnate, it's not like material. Like that's how I so often use it. Oh good lord. Please. Dude, I am so amazed I got through that on just like my first real try there, because that screen gave me one hell of a time, both on my practice run and on my initial playthrough. Yeah, but incarnate specifically refers to meat, which I guess makes sense because it's like an old word, and you would use it to refer to like the devil incarnate would be like the devil is inhabiting a person, or it's been made into a person or something like that, which makes sense in that carnate. In that carnate. Now carnate's just not even a word at all, so don't try to fool me with that one. Alright, the Golden Ridge section. Let me get back into the actual game here, the matter at hand. So I don't remember this one being too bad. At least not like this windy section. They do a lot with these clouds in this B-side. Not just in the Golden Ridge section either. I think once we get to the actual proper summit section at the very end, the clouds will make a pretty savage comeback, if I remember right. Oh, and of course you got to deal with one of these. Now this is a pretty cool one actually. I really like this. They got the trampolines and the block working in conjunction. Thankfully they have like 2 trampolines, so you don't have to really precisely land anywhere on the block, which is nice. I mean, they could have been mean and made like a small block with 1 trampoline on it just to make that a little bit more hellish, but thankfully this is one of the moments where they're actually somewhat forgiving in the B-side. Yeah, I forgot you gotta launch over that without using a dash even, which is easier said than done. So many things are. Or I guess do like one of those. Oh good god, I did not expect to make that in any capacity really. You know, I use that phrase all the time. I've noticed, like especially throughout this LP, easier said than done. What are things that are easier done than said? Breathing? I guess that's probably one. Sleeping? Nah, I mean, I don't think so. I think sleeping is harder to do than it is to say. Because, like, the act of saying something is just so innately easy. Except something like pneumono ultramicroscopic silico-volcanoconiosis, but that's not something you do either. So it's like, or like that one, the name of that town, that one really long town that became like a meme when the weatherman pronounced it perfectly, or something. I remember that distinctly. I don't know if it was a prevalent meme, but it was meme-ish for a while anyway. But again, that's not something you do. There are no like verbs, really. Did you get that? Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Alright, good shit. There are no verbs that I can think of anyway that are exceptionally long in that regard. Oh, I do remember this part. This part's a little bit tricky, but it's not as bad as you might think. Because what you gotta do, because the double dash is not gonna be enough to make it across like a gap like this when you're going against the wind. So what you gotta do, you gotta time this just right so you'd land on that, get your double dash back, and then, yeah, see, like I have had practice with this obviously, but it's still not as hard as you might think just by looking at it, and we're already through that section. See? Easy every time, baby. Of course, don't count your chickens before they've hatched. These last screens are oftentimes the longest and most arduous. Alright, so on that pink cloud, yes, they do this a lot where they make you manage the height of the jumps off these clouds. Sometimes you want like the full boost, sometimes you want a little half boost like that. Sometimes you don't want any boost at all. Up like this. This is a little tricky here, but it doesn't seem like it'd be that tricky, like that little maneuver at the very end there. but because the wind is just like barely pushing you off of your traditional course, it makes it a little bit more finicky, I suppose. And we're over. Come on up. And we're through. Okay. Alright, making good time on this one, that's for sure. That's for damn sure, dude. We're already at the... I guess this is the last one before the actual, the final section. The final section in this one, by the way, in this B-side, the actual proper summit section, is by far, in my estimation anyway, the hardest part of the entire B-side, which makes sense. I'm glad that it is. Nope, that was silly. Again, with those diagonal dashes, man. Sometimes just dashing too low outright. See there, you want to go diagonal that time. So they make you change buttons a lot with these ones. All right. Oh, what? Oh, I touched the wall and the spike at the same. Like there was a little dust cloud off the wall, so I thought I touched the wall, but then I died, so I must have touched the spike. It's like Madeline was quantum tunneling at the moment or something. All right, hup. Okay. Oh, please. Oh. Did the same sort of thing there, except that time I think I pretty accurately landed on the spikes instead of on the wall. And we're through? We're through. Okay, good stuff. Okay, oh, this one's a little bit tricky. You gotta go like, hup. Not quite. Actually, you might have to double dash this in order to actually get up there. No, you don't have to double dash, obviously, because you just do one of these, probably, yeah. Dash over to get like that. Use the momentum. Yeah, it's kind of tricky. The way they make you do this. I don't think you actually need to go over that in like big long jump though. I think you can do something like kind of like that. Maybe wait for. Oh, I got too much momentum off that block. I was waiting there for too long, waiting for my bus. Oh, well, that was just silly. How many of you guys waited for the bus? Well, while like, because I know some of you are probably in school right now, or like going to school. Well, by the way, welcome back to school. It's that time of year, isn't it? Oh boy. But how many of you take the bus? Because I didn't know a lot of people that took the bus. Most people that I knew, at least in like in the parts of school that I really remember, like high school and all that stuff, and middle school to a degree, most people got rides from their parents or lived close enough. I might have to dash that actually, now that I'm looking at it. They either rode with their parents, or they lived close enough that they could just walk, which was the case for me most of the time. I did have to take a bus like in elementary school, I remember that, and I don't remember having to, like, I don't remember the mechanics of the bus, I suppose. Like, okay, I feel like I'm doing something not right here. Like, I feel like I've been able to make that jump when I was doing my practice run anyway. Like, I could make that jump to the second little platform without too much issue, without having to dash, and I would have a dash for that last part. Yeah, so like I know like what happens on the bus. Like I have cursory experiences with buses. Most because like my dad was a bus driver, not a school bus driver. Oh, that was man. All right, at least I know that jump is makeable now. Like I said, you have to cut a lot of things pretty close in this particular B-side. You have cursory experience both from like my dad on driving tour buses, which is probably not very similar to a school bus, I would imagine, and from like field trips and shit. By the way, we're in the last screen here. There's only so much you can talk about the game, especially at this point, now that we've been through so much together, until it starts to get a little bit samey, and you can only say like, oh, you dash this way, you dash that way, oh, I just missed that one. We'll get him next time, boys. This one's kind of interesting. I feel like you get a ton of momentum off of this off this red bubble, like more than usual. I guarantee that you don't, and it's just like a trick of mine, but it feels like when I dash down, I have so much more horizontal speed. I don't know, like I've heard like things that happen on the bus. I don't want to get into these things. I don't know if they happened at my school. They probably did. I didn't hear about them at my school, but I've heard about them like from the internet, just horror stories and things about buses. Dude, why don't buses have seatbelts? Is that like a thing? Like buses just are legally allowed to not have seatbelts? Because like if you're on like a public bus or like a school bus or a tour bus or anything. By the way, when I said my dad drove tour buses, it wasn't for like any famous like band or celebrity or anything. It was literally like a tour of the Rocky Mountains, which is still very cool, by the way. Because the Rocky Mountains are awesome. Alright, this one's a little bit tricky if I remember right. You gotta like do one of these and then kind of do that. Okay, maybe that's not that tricky, I suppose. Why don't buses have like they're just like any other vehicle, but like arguably worse. At any rate, this is enough of the bus tangent for this episode. We are at flag 20. We don't have to go through 30 flags like the A side, thankfully, because that would just be apparent. That would be ridiculous, apparently, compared. Oh, geez, no. Yeah, you gotta really manage your stamina on this part because the wind is severely going against you. Oh, dude. You gotta at least have enough stamina to grasp it for like a single microsecond. Come on now. Okay, well I messed this one up, I'm pretty sure. Well, maybe not. You can just do that, I suppose, right? Dude, then why do I even need that one? I guess I don't. Maybe I'm just crazy. Maybe I might need it. I'm not sure. Well, that's... So you hold on, hold on, hold on. There we go. That's more like it. I really didn't need that first one. Oh, for some reason I thought I still had 2 dashes at that moment. No siree. Oh, come on, buddy. Oh. I guess you could just do something like this. Oh. Again, like this I feel like the wind here might actually like reduce your stamina or make it like get consumed faster somehow. Oh wait, oh there's a platform here. I didn't even see it until the last possible moment when it was just too late. Oh. Alright. Just like that, and then up and over. There's another platform here. Thank you. And we're through. Okay. And there's something interesting later on in this B-side, by the way, is that they actually teach you a new mechanic at this point in the game. It's very interesting because like remember there's like certain points in the game where the bird comes by, right, and he tells you a new move or something. He first initially teaches you how to dash. Then there's that part in like the B side of the old site where he tells you how to do the like jump out of a block, out of one of the dream blocks. Oh, this is a lot of fun, by the way. Oh, except when you die, then it's not as fun, but it's still kind of fun. Yeah, buddy. Okay. Yeah, the bird kind of comes along. He's the one who tells you how to do all these maneuvers. And even at this point in the game, and at a level later on in the game, which I'm sure you could take a guess at what that might be. You may or may not be correct. You will get taught new maneuvers, which is just ridiculous. Like I get it. It's like actually pretty cool because like these maneuvers are not something you would really need to use at any other point in the game, but the things that you can use at other points in the game to make certain parts make them go by a little bit faster. Like they're basically speedrun tactics is what most of the late game moves that you get taught are, which is just so cool. It's like a little reward for the people who committed themselves, because like a casual player is probably not going to make it to the Summit B side, I would guess. I think if you do, you have to like return your casual card to the video game police, which, as far as I'm concerned, are slow beef and diabetes, I guess. But they may not have jurisdiction over your specific location. But regardless, this jump is actually pretty tricky, by the way. Gotta hit just the right angle. Man, thought I had it that time. Yeah, it's just a neat little thing that that you get rewarded with those cool moves, because like I think the people who make it this far into the game are the ones who very clearly have some love for the game and are likely to speedrun it at some point in the future, or at least have a cursory interest in speedruns. Come on, yeah, there we go. Enough to want to be interested in those like precise maneuvers, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about, like how precise of a maneuver it is. And it's like the hyper dash, or I guess the wave dash that I used at the end of the Summit A side. Remember, I had to like get the very last berry, and I screwed the pooch on it, and I had to like do like a weird maneuver that you don't get taught anywhere in the game. They do teach you that later in the game, still later than this. So and it's kind of cool too, because when they teach you those, then it's like fair game, because like most of the time those moves, you only use them. There we go. You only use them as a. You gotta walk off these pretty quick, by the way, just enough to like renew your dash, and then that's about it. Okay. Ooh, I love this, by the way, because the wall jumps, you got to use them to good effect, but you have so much more height from them because of the wind, which is cool. Got to do one of those and one of these, and then the rest of this is all wall jumps. We got no more dashes, boys. Wait, what? I must have done something wrong. I feel like I did that on my practice run too, where I used one dash prematurely. Oh, I see what I did. Never mind. There's a wall that I did not kick off of that I should be kicking off of, I think. Wait. Yeah, something like this. There we go. Yeah, I didn't have to dash like that one part there. What was I talking about again? Oh yeah, because like the mechanics, the late game mechanics that they teach you, the speedrun tactics. Once they teach them to you, they can actually use them and make them like mandatory for the level that you're in. Dude, I did it again. I'm just the worst. Not paying attention. Clearly. That's more like it. I think what I was doing, I was dashing through that first little gap, whereas you just have to wall kick there. Yeah, so it makes having to use those speedrun tactics makes it for a very interesting challenge, and also a very challenging challenge, as I'm sure we'll see soon enough. Once we get past a certain part in this summit section, we're gonna learn one of those moves that I have not used up till this point in the game. But I'm sure you could put to good use at some of the earlier levels. Is this where we learn it? Oh, not quite yet. Okay. Ooh, I do remember this. This is a pretty bad gauntlet right here, by the way. Flag 9. I have nightmares of this place. Like, I think like this is probably the spot where I got stumped for the longest. Or not really stumped, but I couldn't execute it for the longest on my initial run of the game. Okay, I really need to dash for that first part. I remember that now. You gotta just use the height of the clouds to get over there and up, walk off, so you don't get bumped into the spikes on accident. You one of these, fall down here, and preferably try and curve around that spike. Just skirt around it. Skirt. Apologies to headphone users on that one, probably. Alright. And since I haven't mentioned it, by the way, music on this is, again, obviously top tier. Although I have heard a lot of this summit music, of the B-side summit music, which is, it's starting to wear on me at a certain point, because there's a, well, I don't want to spoil that just yet, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. I've heard it a lot in the past, is all I'll say. I'll leave it at that. Or you can hit that. There may be something after the B-sides. Hey, you said it, not me, except I did say it. So that's kind of a good point. We'll see. I mean, there is stuff after the B-sides that I want to show off, regardless. There's like Pico 8, there's that like weird little game that we had way back in Celestial Resort. That's gonna be a bonus video at some point. There's also an achievement called the One Up achievement, which is an interesting achievement. I didn't like quite, because there's no instructions in the game on how to get the One Up achievement. It just like in the little achievement description, it's just like you got a 1 up, and I'm like, what? Where's the 1 up that I have to collect? It's like the super secret hidden collectible. That's not quite it, actually. It's basically what it is, because I guess I'm gonna go over it anyway, so I don't need to keep the secret. Is that like, you know how in Mario, when you collect a certain like when you stomp on a Koopa a certain number of times in a row, you'll get like, you'll start at like 100 and 200 and 400 and 800 and however many points, and eventually after like 8 of those, how many is it, like 8 or 6 or something like that? But after enough of those anyway, you get a 1 up. And that's basically the same thing that you gotta do in this game. You gotta get enough points in succession in order to get a 1-up. And obviously, there's not really a point system in Celeste, but there is that little like points display that you get whenever you collect a strawberry. It comes with like a little noise. Oh, dude. The little noise that you get when you collect strawberries, like a little thing that pops up that says, ooh, I messed up. It says 1,000 points. And I think there was 1 point in like some level that I played where I got 2 strawberries and collected 2 of them like at the same time. And I got 2,000 points in the second strawberry. So following that logic, I believe, I don't remember exactly how many it is, but to collect the 1-up achievements, you gotta get, you have to collect a certain number of strawberries all at the same time, which means you have to like go and pick them up. Oh, come on. Oh, dude, that was so it. You have to go and pick up all the strawberries without like touching a safe spot on the ground for very long at all. So you have to kind of stay airborne or cling to the walls or on trampolines or on non-safe platforms like those falling stone ones and shit. You gotta stay on those as much as possible in order to collect like 6 strawberries. And then once you collect the 6th one, it'll be like 1-up. And you're like, hell yeah. I'm gonna show off a way to do that. I think the way that most people probably do it. It's not easy to get, by the way, so you can navigate that. It's kind of a fun one, though. It's an interesting one. Level I opted to do it when I first tried it. I discovered it on my own, by the way, how to get the achievement. just by thinking about it for a little bit and kind of going through that thought process I just took you guys through. Alright, maybe I should stop talking about these things and actually focus on the task at hand here, because we've been stuck on this. Like I said, this section, quite a loop. Didn't have much easier aside than this on my practice run, I'll tell you that much for sure. Oh, dude, I gotta cling to that one, I'm pretty sure. Sorry for getting a little bit quiet here, it's like, just gotta zone in for a moment. Listen to that tense music. It's like the music on like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire or something. It's not quite like that, but it's got the same sort of vibe to it. You know the music that plays when they're like in like the top tier questions, so like the last 5 questions, or maybe like the last 10 questions, I don't quite remember. But the music, like I guess, when they're sitting there mulling over the answers, they'll get it over after the host asks the question. And it starts going like do 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 do. Is that like a Halloween song? Hold on now. Do 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 do. Like I feel like that it is. I don't know. And then they walk it in and it's ba-da-ba. And sometimes they hype up the moment, but the host is like, so you've decided to say C, ham sandwich. I don't know what the question is for that answer. Go ahead and make one up, I guess. I do music on that show. Honestly, I don't know if it's just because I watched the show when I was a kid and it had like an impact on me in my formative years. The show on that, the music on that show was seriously like perfectly atmospheric. Whenever I think of like good atmospheric music, good tense music, so that's the first little like sort of thing that pops in my head. Who Wants to Be a Freaking Millionaire? Don't know how long I spent on this section. I feel like this might end up being another one of those sped up sections. We'll see. Get off here. I might have used a little bit too much stamina to get to this point. Oh! That one hurts. That hurts quite a lot. Alright, okay, let's just get back there right away. No harm, no foul. We'll just do it on this run. I've already committed. I can't not do it on this run now because I've committed. What I meant was this run, though, actually. That was a warm-up run for the real run. I know you might think, Argon, that first run where you died like at the very end, I thought that was like technically a warm-up run for this real run that we're on right now, by the way. I mean, starting right now is what I meant. This one's the real run. The real Holyfield run. I got quiet because I thought that would be the moment, dude. That would be the moment the music would just build up. The most tense thing. Try for real. This one's it. This one's Te'ern, as I think the kids say. Te'ern. Can you get a Kappa Twitch chat? Kappa Spangley? Can you get Frank Rizzi? Dude, Frank Rizzi died. Oh my god. I know, like, that's a dark news flash for anyone who doesn't know, but the dog that like, made the Frank Rizzi emote on Twitch, which if you don't use Twitch, it makes no sense at all, but there's like this cute-ass dog that's one of the emotes on Twitch. And he died earlier this year. I was very upset to hear that. He's a very cute dog, but you know what? Every dog has its day, and Frank Rizzi's day is like he will live on for many, many years, as I'm sure. Dude, that jump at the very end is the same as like this one that kind of happens in the middle, where you gotta... Oh, I'm set up. Where you gotta jump, but not like press left too soon. Otherwise you hit the spike, which is easier done than said, some might say, but they would be wrong. Oh, come on, dude.
Once this part of the music kicks in, it's like, you know, you've been spending too long on this. If you hear this part of the music like twice in the same section, then you know you spent far too long in a section. All right, drop on down. You're the next contestant on The Price is Right, or Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Who knows? All right, the wind has stopped now. Oh, there's the bird. I told you, dude. He's gonna teach us a move here. Are you ready? So dash. This one takes a little bit to get used to. Dash, jump. So basically what you gotta do is it's kind of like a wave dash like I was doing before, but it's like vertical against the wall. So you gotta do like one of those, where you just press the jump button as you like dash right beside a wall. And I do that a lot, by the way, where I just dash into the ceiling and look like a freaking idiot. So they're going to make sure you master this concept before you get too much further into this. These are pretty well-spaced blocks here in order to pull off this maneuver in between. I don't know if there's an official name for this maneuver. I'm sure there must be. The speedrun community is great for coming up with names for like little moves and tricks and tactics like that. See, you like just barely hit that top of your dash there. I gotta get a little bit more height or something. Ooh, I think that might have been my opportunity, but I just dashed a little bit too late. I gotta move over to the right a little bit faster, I feel like. And not dash as soon. See, I want to dash like the height of that. Oh, I feel like I need to. Maybe I need to time this first one a little bit better in order to actually get more height off of it, because if you time it just right, you can get pretty substantial height off of these. I am not, like I said, you don't really have to use this at any other point in the game. So I'm not very well versed in this maneuver, so bear with me for a little bit here while I get reacquainted with it. I love that I took a moment there to like actually save that run, only just die in the exact same way. Kind of silly on my part. Oh, dude, I thought that was the one. I really, really did. Oh. Oh, come on, dude. Like, you see, I get to, like, there's the very apex of my dash at the end there. And right, like, I don't feel like, oh, there we go. Just line that up just right, I suppose. See, and then again, they're iterating upon it already. Just gotta make you do it in the middle of a section like this. It's not even, this is far from the worst of this maneuver that we're gonna see. Don't you worry. Worry your pretty little head off. Aw, dude. This one's not as bad, I feel. Like, I feel like that first little bit there, like that one that I was struggling with for a while at that moment, might actually be the hardest instance of this, this little, like, vertical wave dash maneuver that we're gonna see. Just because it's so tightly spaced. There we go. You got it. Well, that's just a little that's a little ridiculous. There's so many green crystals. Wait. Okay, get up here again. That's the thing, is you can just time this so precariously, because you can just fall back down to an earlier green crystal if you really need to. All right, now this is where shit starts getting really real. You gotta see what I gotta do there. That's a little bit of a tricky one. It's not too bad, actually. You might think, like, oh my god, how do you do like that wave dash off a little one tile wide block like that? You actually get a substantial amount of leeway in order to do it. I just suck at like usually hitting the right part to dash up. And again, another little like one tile wide like bit of fuckery right here. I think you actually gotta, because it looks like I'm gonna need a dash at the for that next part as well in order to do one of these bad boys. Ooh, didn't think I would get that on the first try, did you? Dude, we're already at flag 2. Where did the time go? Oh my god, we're at the like really end of this, because I think flag 1 to the summit is like not really much of anything, kind of like it wasn't in the. Dude, does Madeline get Nancy there? If I just like leave it her permission, look at her. Oh, she's pumped, dude. She's pumped AF. I think that's the first time I've ever said AF in like my verbiage or in like a text format either. One of those. Dash on over here. Yeah, this I remember that. See what remember what I said earlier on, like the Golden Ridge segment about how they like to iterate upon these clouds. This is the moment I was talking about right here. This specific instance. It's by far one of the trickiest cloud sections in the entire game, if not the trickiest outright. You gotta walk right off there. Oh, come on. Ooh. Wait. Oh my god. I don't believe I actually timed that one. I forgot I had to do a wave dash at the very end there. And then this last part is not overly bad. You just gotta make the climb, dude. And again, the music begins fading into the distance. So we reach the summit, and here we are. JK. Well, a little bit more to go still, obviously. That was amazing! I can't believe we did that!
Nothing can stop us. Oh my God. Calm down. You're scaring me right now. Yeah, me too a little bit. I do love that they actually have that little bit of dialogue right at the very end. And just like all the other B-sides, we still gotta do this last little bit of fuckery. This one's actually not as bad as it might first appear, though. When I first saw this, I was like, you want me to do what? This is probably the worst of it right here, actually, the very end part where you gotta do those little wall jumps. But even that's not too bad. Oh, well. I'm glad the screen allowed me to scroll back down at the very least. There we go, and we do one of those, just to give ourselves a little bit more airtime. All right, this is not too bad here. You just gotta wait for the right moment, and I think that's it right there. Oh, okay. God damn it. Did I have a dash at that moment? I don't know if I did. I wasn't quite paying attention. Well, I really should be. Like, do I have a dash? I don't think I do, because I got it. Yeah, I got to dash twice to actually get up that high. So no, to do one of those, and we're up and away. No more running at the very apex of everything up here. Oh boy. And that's it. That's the longest B-side in the game. The core still remains. So let's not even worry about that though. Let's just relish in this beautiful little sunset shot. I love it, dude. Stars blinking in and out of existence. It's great. How well did we do on that one? Over 300 deaths. So I mean, like I said, the longest one. So most deaths on any B-side is appropriate. I think that's the most deaths on any B-side up to this point, anyway. Yeah, by far, actually. But we'll see if that record remains once we start. Once we go through the last B-side over here in the core, which is yeah, we're really nearing the end of this. Believe it or not, folks, it's been a long journey up to this point, long and arduous at times for sure. But I'm glad I'm glad for those of you that have stuck it out with me, the courageous few who dared to brave the B-side videos. Thanks for hanging out, people. At any rate, I will see you in our next one when we tackle this this monstrosity here. Thanks everyone for watching. This is ArgonMatrix signing out. Thank you and good night.